So you finally made a name for yourself. Congratulations. But how do you get your name out to the world? Turn to WorldStar PR. The caring, honest, and invested team at WorldStar PR will give you maximum exposure through podcasts, TV, radio, amazing press releases, and red carpet events. They'll ensure that you are worldwide. Jimmy Starr, entertainment guru, and Eileen Shapiro, rockstar journalist, will give you the world. So come join the likes of legendary actor Ron Russell, iconic musicians Scott Page and Fred Schneider, world-class designer Sue Wong, TV personality Mickey Burns, and so many more. Check them out on Facebook or on their website, jimmystarsworld.com/worldstarpr. WorldStar PR, where the world revolves around you.
It's a show with a flow that lets you know about the guest. Oh, it's time for the show. It's Leo Effects. Leo affects you. Leo affects the guest too. It's time for Leo Effects.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Leo Effects. Thank you very much for listening to that intro. I always get so pumped when I hear it. I'm super excited for that. It's a pretty neat collaboration. So glad that those people can come together like that and make my intro. That accreditation will be in the description of the video on YouTube. So make sure to check that out. But we're not here to talk about that tonight. We're here to talk to my guest for this evening. He's a poet and a rapper and an artist, and I've heard some of his stuff already. You know, we're kind of kindred spirits a little bit in that we both share a military bond. So that's kind of cool. I mean, we'll let it go that he was Army. That's okay. I mean, as all of you know, I was Air Force, so you can't pick your family. But please welcome to the show tonight, Nate Soundz. How are you, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me. And you know what? That's all right because I pick on airmen all the time. But there's a need for everybody in the services for a certain way. And I may not agree with everything all the time, but obviously there's a part of me that see the good in it. So that's cool that we share that. I appreciate you letting me know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, and I that's the way the military's always worked since I've known it, is little, friendly ribbing here and there, but realistically, no branch could really exist without the other. We are truly a giant family and we all work together. And so that's cool that you served, 1%, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, how on earth did you go from being in the service to where you are now?
Well, so the service is something that just sort of became a hallmark or a point of discussion, and that's fine. But there's a lot of time in between the service and getting into music, and I'm raised a family for the most part. My kids are 10 and 12 now. I got two boys, and I love being a dad. I actually absolutely love being a dad, and I got a lot of respect for people whether they're together or not, and they take care of their kids. And I've got a great relationship, even though their mother and I are not together. It's been a blessing. And so I've had kids, I raised a family. I had a couple jobs. I've had some good professional experience in supply chain management and trucking, and I was a manager for a while. And just my life kept building and building and building. And eventually I just, why are you working? What do you work for? And who do you work for? And you just, the bigger goals in life. So I just finally found, it took till I was 33 years old, but I found what I was passionate about and what I should have been doing all along. So now that once I hit it and I was with it and I was starting doing it, I knew it's what I was going to start doing and do for the rest of my life in some way, shape, or form.
Dude, that's awesome. And does having children help with your artistic side? Like, do they inspire you?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, even if I didn't have my own kids, just kids in general, youth, growing up, I love my childhood. Didn't have, a perfect childhood, but I had a really good mom, and she was a single parent. She took care of me very well, and I was very grateful. I grew up in a good town that didn't have a lot of crime and stuff, so I had a good upbringing. And yeah, the kids, they'll add character to your soul, and it goes that deep, and they'll scratch you on the surface too. So yeah, there's an endless supply of inspiration there.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you ever like dedicate anything to them, or do you kind of keep your artistic life and your personal life separated?
And becoming more, expressing myself more artistically, the ability to show emotion has come along with that. So if I dedicate something to my children, that's just gonna drop me to tears probably. So it's not that I don't, but it's not something I usually get public about. But I would, I sure I will one day, especially if it's an event or something like that I want to honor them. Certainly, but yeah, I got a couple things written for him. Actually, the floor I'm standing on, I have written and drew all over it, a long, long time ago. But I got messages to him hidden in places behind pictures and stuff. I do stuff like that all the time.
That's cool. That's pretty tight. So
Thank you.
we've said it a couple times, and it's obviously in the title of the interview that you are not only just a poet but a rapper and an artist, and kind of all those things kind of, they're almost different ways of saying the same thing.
Yeah,
uh,
certainly.
but poetry to rap, how, what kind of process do you do that kind of bridges that? Because in my mind I see poetry as like, those people sitting up on the stage at a coffee shop, snapping for applause. But then you got like the rap side of it, which admittedly I haven't listened to since probably the late 80s. So you can imagine the mental image I've got going on here, like Run DMC and stuff. But is it, how has the poetry played into the rap, or did you kind of do them separately, or how does that work?
Yeah, no, it's certainly started with poetry, and let's just say what I thought myself when I thought myself as a poet. I was writing the same way I do now for my raps. It's not that my element of poetry is something about self-expression at the deepest level I can while writing material down, because I initially started my education before I joined or after I got out of the military. I used some of my money to go to school, and part of that lessons was psychology. I've always been interested in psychology, and I was really impressed with free writing. I never really did that in school, never really talked about it, and I know it's a simple concept, but I like the idea of uncovering something subconscious, or something just below the surface, and I kind of like self-investigation. So on that younger side of myself, doing self-discovery, I started writing rhymes, out of a free write. So I figured I'd free write, and to me, that's just over time. I realized I got into hip hop and stuff. That's like really close to what you have with a freestyle, and by freestyle in particular, because it's gotten very convoluted. For me, it's just a truly extemporaneous, show. It's not planned or anything like that, and it's not material that you've discussed before. It's just fresh and new, and it's off the top of the dome, people say. So that's where they probably joined for me when I realized, that connection. And I've always listened. I always like beats. I like instrumentals, like electronic, EDM. So having that kind of openness and interest in it, I used it to help myself, get out of a little bit of loneliness from when I got a divorce, and just ultimately building myself back up to the person I didn't know who I was supposed to be, at the time, kind of thing. And so it bridges with the rhymes and with the freestyle aspect, and then I get into the culture of hip hop, and I can now translate a lot of those experiences that we talked about, those different artistic forms, into something that I'm passionate with. So all those things kind of did lead into it, and maybe that's why the way we're talking about it seems like a different way of saying the same thing, and maybe that good term for that is the artistic expression or creative expression, of oneself.
That's awesome, and it's so true. Like, to be able to express yourself. I mean, even though I don't particularly listen to rap, I mean, I have to give, like I said, I listen to some of your stuff on YouTube, and I got to give you props. Like, to be able to do something like that is quite impressive.
I appreciate it. And most people who I would say your traditional hip hop artists, your classic hip hop fans, if they heard me, I'm sure there would be a certain amount of respect just out of the complexity of my words and my delivery at times. I do goofy stuff too, but I think anyone who gives a serious listen to my work would give me the respect that I feel like I deserve. But they probably wouldn't say like he's a real hip hop artist, and that wouldn't offend me because I understand the culture of it, and I know that my particular aim and message isn't necessarily hip hop origins. It's my own message, but I'm definitely using the cultural references in terms of the music and the sounds and the motions and stuff. So there's similarity there. I like to rap over electronic music mostly, or even like a good rock song or metal song with a good beat. So
Yeah.
that's fun.
Now, do you create the songs that you rap over, or is that something like that you have produced for you on the side, something you find online?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. So I love going every once in a while. I'll go to my different sources. I'll use about a week apart, so I get new material in. But I have a friend. I'll call him a friend. His name on SoundCloud is Da Head Cutter, the Head Cutter, and he's one of the nicest people on the planet. And he gives all of his music away for free, royalty free. Just you
Oh,
here it is. Do what you want with it. And I love his music. It actually sounds much more like early '90s. He's got a lot of boom bap and just smoother classic hip hop sound. So I use a lot of his material. He's probably got 400 songs. And then I love audio, YouTube audio library. It's royalty free music available, and they have excellent sound there. I mean, it's really high end. And then there's just other little sources trickled throughout, that I've come across. And I also make my own too. So I have FL Studio. I've got tons of all sorts of different software, to go in with that. I use it as a host for other DAWs that I open up. So yeah, I love making my own beats, and I have quite a few on my site. And I just started noticing them up on YouTube. Just started using YouTube. I searched my name one time just to find my own account because I couldn't log in, and I saw all these other songs of mine, and I was like, I don't even know where they got them half the time. I told them, hey, thanks, that's really cool of you. So yeah, I do all of it pretty much myself. I want to be completely independent in terms of my abilities, but I also like to collaborate a lot. So I do sometimes 4 or 5 songs a day, just through trying to create something fun. And if it sticks, I'll keep it around, or maybe I'll redo it better.
gotcha. And do you have like, how is it worded? Are you part of a label or are you just completely solo?
No, totally solo. I do have someone I work with quite often, and going to be taking a trip here. See, Sunday morning, they leave at 6:30 to go to Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to be working with artist B Magic, and he's my friend. His name's Brandon, and he is inspirational to me because, like I said, I can do 5 songs a day, no problem. And that's not writing and seriously putting the words to the beat and coming up with a particular message. It's just extemporaneous deliveries. I build something up into a coherent idea, and then I put it out, and I could do that a lot. This dude, when I got on a plane last week to go to Vegas from Sacramento, which is about an hour and 20-minute flight, I landed. He had 7 legit songs like for me to listen to that from he started from fresh. And I'm like, I'm coming to hang out with you. You're gonna inspire me. We're gonna get some shit done. So looking forward
That's
to that.
cool.
But
That's
no, it's all
awesome.
me. And if I have to, I'm thinking my own license and publishing here in the next 6 months or so. And I probably won't call myself a label, but I'll have all the abilities of a label.
Oh man, I don't even know how that would work. That's mind-boggling to me.
Money and talent and connections. You got to have people to place your talent with, and you got to have money to give your talent to bring them on board or to pay for the things that they need to perform. And then you need publishing and licensing rights. After that, it's just deals between you and another person, however you want to go about it. I prefer the classic handshake,
Aha.
honor your word type deal. And
For real.
that's what I'm going for. That's what I think I'd like to do overall, whether it doesn't have to just be music. I like acting and all that sort of stuff. Just as whatever it takes to get people out there and to show who they are to the point that they're discovering things about themselves. That's where I'm at.
Nice, man. Nice. And how you had kind of talked about it just a minute ago about inspirations. What artists were inspirations to you getting into the rapping game?
King Los, who was with Puff Daddy for a while, and then not, and then back again. So there's King Los, and I just know him as Los. I would say his style and his sophisticated word use, and just his whole delivery and everything was so different for me because I started off listening to like Lil Wayne, which I'm not dogging Lil Wayne, but and then you go to the underground hip hop, and it's a totally different feel and vibe. And then you get King Los, who's like super talented, like at least as talented as the best, and I mean like just the best, like even your classic best, like Eminem and fucking all those people. I don't even know how to compare him to a lot of people, but I just love him, and I was so impressed with his wordplay. I was really started to dig into my own wordplay and use of words. And then there was one other one, and I was just thinking about it. Other than I was a child, the Eurythmics with my mother, but passionate MC. So passionate MC did a delivery on the Team Backpack cipher with E Money and another guy here from California. But his delivery on that thing, I was just like, man, if I could take that sophisticated word use that I'm working on and these rhyme schemes and these ideas and deliver it like this dude, who's like a powerhouse of he's just loud and he's gloves are cut off, he's got his hood on, he goes hard every time. And I've said, I kind of like these elements. I've been piecing those together. So I would say if there's any inspiration of recent, it's probably those two. But there's a lot overall, just people I couldn't even say.
Yeah, yeah. Is there a particular artist besides the ones that inspired you, like nowadays, that you wish you could do a collaboration with?
So it's taken 3 years, but one of my first followers, he's been with me from the beginning, and he's probably one of the only ones left from the beginning. His name's Sweaty, with two T's at the end, all caps. He's on SoundCloud, and I listened to his song. It was the very first song I ever listened to on SoundCloud, right when I logged in, and the song was shit, I have my computer right now. And it's just like builds up and it builds up and it starts to get pretty radical loud, you know. I'm just like, okay, this is not what I'm used to. It's like a 30-second build up and it just hits it right at the top, and you can see the waveform increase the volume, and he comes in so hard. I literally got chills on the back of my neck right now just thinking about it, you know. And he inspired me big time, and he's so good, and he has so many, like his following is the type. He might have 2,000 followers, you know, but he's got 2,000 listens in like 5 minutes because his following is hardcore dedicated, and he's just a
Oh,
real guy. He's so real, and I'm just impressed with his ability to tell me on a regular basis, "Hey, you're doing great. You know, you're doing good." And you know, just about 3 weeks ago, I got a message from him. I checked it, and he says, "Anytime you want to send me a song, we're gonna rap. You know, this, we're gonna rap the fuck out of some beats and shit." So it was really nice to hear that. I've been digging for that for years, and someone that I really like and is passionate about what he does is finally gonna work with me in a way I want to. So I think it's really cool.
yeah, that is cool. That's impressive. I'm liking it. That's awesome. What
Thanks.
what made you decide to go the route of rap music rather than say like rock or country or anything like that?
Well, I call myself I said I was nerdcore in the beginning
Hmm.
because of the, you know, just kind of technical language and like that. But it didn't seem to jive well with the people, other people who already established, you know, nerdcore environment community. So I sort of left that idea. And you know, most of my responses come from hip hop artists or from other followers of hip hop, you know, people in that genre. And I don't really have a way to, I think, to place myself in in a subgenre that gives the credit due, because there's you know, what do you say, like indie rapper or something like that? I kind of want to coin that, not necessarily coin it, but you know, sort of be the I when people say that. But I think other people ultimately have to decide what genre I am.
Hmm.
You know, if it fits for them. I like indie. The idea of it seems more open, and you know, I'm independent, so I don't even know where the whole source of indie ideas come from. You know, the concept, but I've looked a little bit into it. So I would say something like an indie rapper or a metal hip hop artist, alternative rap. And I just
Nice.
started, like I said, just the rhymes and stuff. I didn't ever really take on singing. Turns out, if I prepare myself properly and I choose the right words, I could sing pretty good. I kind of impressed myself a few times with it. But if I'm not prepared, you know, and I don't put the right words, it's like gutter ball. It's a bad thing. Um,
Nice.
I know my qualities and my talents are more suited towards a fast, high end, intense sort of, you know, delivery, and I like rhyming a lot. I like words a lot. So in hip hop, I can say a lot of stuff really fast, and you know, get it off my chest. I can say a lot of things in 400 words in 2 minutes. So
Cool. Holy
it's my
cow.
personality.
That's got to be like a record or something. Like,
I'm not sure. I don't think so because at least I don't seem like I'm that fast, and usually don't go super fast. But I can get a little choppy sometimes.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a sec. So you do have some stuff out on YouTube. We kind of talked about that a little bit, dropping hints about it. What do you feel is your best song on YouTube right now?
I don't have very many, so I don't know, the beat I just put up isn't really 100% mine, so I can't say that. I think you know, I don't know, because almost all my good stuff that I put out is on my SoundCloud. So on
Okay.
YouTube, I like personally Dark Side and Over Here. I like so I started using BandLab, and I like layering my vocals on BandLab a lot because their tools are a little simpler, so I can do it in a way that makes it it comes out faster, not necessarily better, but there's a little less control. They take care of some things for you with the tools on the web app, or I mean the mobile app. So I go that route, and I like the way the vocals layer in those two songs, and the delivery is intense, and the message is genuine, and it's heartfelt, you know. So
Yeah.
there's some vulgarness in there, but you know, that's probably why one of those two.
Okay. Do you have a song coming out like here soon or like an album soon that people can keep an eye out for?
So I'm thinking about two right now, and I don't know if I'll call them both an album. One of them, I'm going to specifically take a bunch of songs that I really, really like over the last year and a half or two that I made songs I really, really like that aren't up right now from the head cutter, and I'm going to use his beat specifically because, well, he's been really good to me. He's got my name on his SoundCloud and stuff, and he messages me privately every now and then, and you know, I told him, I said, hey man, you get as many followers every week as I get plays. How do you help me out with this? So I want to do an album and I want to sort of dedicate it just to him and bring awareness about him and what he does for people. You know, he does a lot of donations for cancer and stuff like that. And this time of year, that's really cool to do. And he does it all the time. So I want to do that. And I don't know if that one's going to be an album or not. I might call it compilation, right?
Okay.
Or now I have this other project that I've been really wanting to get into. And I've avoided talking about myself personally, at least in terms of my peak experiences or something like that. And I'm going to get all that out there in the right way by spring. And I'm calling that the Tempest. You know, Tempest is kind of like a storm of storms. So in this stormy environment, well, I got some other radical shit I want people to take into account as we get into the election and all this stuff. So I'm hoping to use the momentum from the election and stuff with the material I'm putting out and really get into the technical side of trying to market it. And it's Tempest, and it's about my personal experiences and how they relate to some of the problems in society. And I'm going to put it all out there. I mean, I'm going to probably take me a while, but I'm really just going to dial this in. I haven't done that yet. I had no complete work from beginning to end yet. And this is the first one's got to be the Tempest.
Wow. That's got to be hard to an extent, like being able to put yourself into song. I guess is the best way I can think to word that. That's got to be a little hard.
Yeah, I've done so much self-discovery though, and so much self-reflection. It's almost like a lot of my vocabulary, or even the way I understand things. Not necessarily like myself, but how I feel about things for me, because I'm me. But to say it to other people, it's not too hard for me to get the words in there, because I can be less specific about me, and even sort of make it like a third person, since I
Yeah.
refer to myself in the third person anyways. Didn't bother too many people.
Well, all right. Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, so that's about it. And right now, I'm sort of just trying to understand the whole process, because I do like to sing, and I do like to rap, and I do like to compose, and I do like to produce. All that stuff's really fun. And I'll probably do the production side of it if I can forever. But I'm 33 now, so let's say in 7 years, whether people want to listen to me or not, I'm just not going to want to do that. I've got too many good ideas that I'm going to try to get some dollars for, and then help my family and other people out too. So the goal is definitely to build up a team of and a network that I can work with, and I can focus on things like technical sides of building websites and marketing. So I'm trying to understand everything, which is why I'm doing marketing right now and seeing how it works for me and talking with other people. And and honestly, I'm not going to say so my PR I think is amazing. I think the people I work with are excellent, and like yourself and other people's shows I've been on are great. I haven't had too much return back, from like the people I have been socializing with, and I need to work that out. I need to figure out why people aren't taking the offers that I'm putting forward. Like I have, okay, so I've offered people literally who would live around me to come clean their house, or to do anything basic like that, all the way to the point of starting business with other people at no cost, doing reviews, mixing, do everything you could think of under the sun for an artist to do for another upcoming artist. I've offered for free with sincerity on like level 10. It's like it's this guy's clearly being real, and he wants to help me out. And I just can't get a fish to bite. I can't get a single person to let me help them out of sincere interest, just trying to prove myself. Like, hey, look, I'm worth talking to and hanging out with. I'm gonna do something for you. What do you want done? I'm gonna do it now in 15 minutes. And it's just like people want to review, or just they'll send you a link to play their song. Like, really, you just want to play from me? I mean, what if I did 100 plays over and over? Is that really what you want from me? I mean, I'll cold call some people for you. Let's talk about something. So I'm really
Wow.
trying to do that so I can build respect for myself and my abilities, because I'm smart and I know business. And a lot of people don't seem to want to accept that, but I do, and it's been working out. So I want to get underneath some of these labels and gates where the venues are available, and I don't want to either take control of them or I want to start working with people to do it right.
Yeah.
There's so much untapped talent out there. It drives me insane. So I would love to do that. And it's hard to say where I'll go from there.
Absolutely. Well, I really hope that works out for you, to be honest. Like that'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
if we want to talk again or something like that, or anything in particular. I don't know what your demographic of your audience is or what they like to focus on, but I'm willing to work with anybody on anything. I would love to do live sessions, get some guests in, interactive, creative development, something like that, where I'm on there making a song. People want to throw me ideas or words, or even get on there with me, or control. Someone wants to mix me live or something, or the other way around. There's so many creative things we can do just with Zoom. You can give me control over your computer. I can have you open up my BandLab, which is a web-based DAW, and I can sing into it live, and you can hear me, and you could pick the effects you like on my voice, or something like that.
No,
And
that's
I think
cool.
that'd be kind of fun for a crowd of people, because anyone could just sit and watch. But as I'm creating and you're watching me, and then we have a Dropbox, like a shared Dropbox where files are being dropped in, and people could get on there and mix, change things up live right there or there, or put their voice in your place, or what have you. I mean, there's all sorts of things people could do, make videos. And I think the more I do that and could get people involved, hey, Nathan's coming on the show again, and it's not just Nathan. Like I'll be showing up with the crowd of people, the people in my show already, and we'll just link together, and now we're all playing, whatever, like
Yeah,
songs
that'd
around the
be
campfire back
cool.
in the
That,
day.
that's a really great idea. I like that.
Well, I've been talking to everybody, and Zoom's free up to like 40 people, and that's if you're hosting. So and to pay for it's nothing, and the controls are so simple. It's
Right.
very secure, and it's super fun because I want to do it in a way it's like in an environment where anything that's produced or created in that environment is sort of open to like open source in a sense. Creative open source resources. So
Yeah.
everyone works together, and whatever you take from there is yours. Whatever you can create from it, great. And that
Yeah.
I think that draws crowds.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Well, I want to take this last few minutes here because you've just put out like a lot of info, but I want you to let the listeners know, or anybody who happens to be listening to this and say, oh, I'm going to take them up on that offer. How can they contact you?
So best way is probably through Gmail, Nate Sounds with a Z at gmail.com. But I'm on Facebook a lot and I'm on Twitter a lot. SoundCloud less and less in terms of the communication, just because their communication tool is not very good. And
Mm.
I like that I can just voice talk into something, or I can record myself and share it with someone immediately. And file sharing so easy on Facebook. I've been using the Messenger more for that. So Messenger, Twitter, my cell phone is on all of my on all the platforms right there. Let's go 530-737-9733. That's real cell phone number. It's not a WhatsApp or anything like that. So it's my real contact. I want to wake up and just not be able to answer all the phone calls, so I'm ready for it. Anyone wants to take interest.
For sure, for sure.
And bills
Well,
too. You want to talk about bills? You want to talk about finances? I know all that stuff. I'm willing to help anybody with anything.
that's tight.
Yeah.
Well, Nate, I want to say, man, like you're an awesome dude. You're super chill. I've had a great time talking to you. I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really, really hope that you achieve all the dreams in the world and that these people contact you because I really think you're on the path to something huge.
I hope so, man. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I know I got good ideas. Just I can't do it alone. That's for sure. So yeah, anyone, and if you come across anyone who says they're trying to do something, hey, I know a guy who's looking to help anybody with anything creative wise. That's in good nature.
For sure, for sure. And word of the mouth is, that's king right now. Everybody's all locked up. This is what we got. So we got to stick together, help each other out. So you can bet I'll be helping you out.
Okay, cool. Same thing, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you to all the listeners who tuned in to check this out. I really appreciate it. Make sure to click the links and go check out Nate's stuff on Facebook, and definitely get over to SoundCloud. And if you got something artistic that he's done, something creative, make sure to hit him up. He's doing it all. So
Yeah.
thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time. Oh, now that was an awesome interview. Thanks so much for listening. You all are so great. And don't forget to head to Facebook, Insta, and Twitter and follow The Leo Effects. If you want to hear some comedy and ridiculous voices, check out Shattered Dungeons on YouTube and all other places podcasts can be heard. And you'll hear me voicing crazy characters, usually pretty terribly. So thank you so much. You all are the absolute best. And we will see you all on the next episode.